DEI would be like if the NBA said we need more white people in the NBA because it's dominated by black people. They said this is not fair. There's too many black people in the NBA, and none of these teams have a reason to hire any white people. So to make it fair, so that white people have the opportunity to play basketball, we're gonna allow them to get in with a slightly lower physical stats. So maybe all the black players have a certain amount of assists, a certain amount of rebounds, certain whatever. They might make it cut that for the white players, right? So now you get a bunch more white players coming into the field. But now when they're playing on the field and they're playing with LeBron, and they're playing with when they're on the field and they're playing with LeBron, they can't keep up. And the reason why they can't keep up is because they're not really able to play at LeBron's level. They were allowed in because they had to fill a quota, and they had a max of black people that they could hire. So even though they may hire the best of the white candidates, we still don't know the best candidates are the black ones, right? Like the best basketball players usually are black people. So it's like if there was the
so you're saying that basically the white people work better. Wait, I just want to comment on that real quick. So you're basically saying that white people work better and they're better at leadership.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Wait, let me just finish. And then that's why they got to have DEI, because black people, they just don't meet that quota. So therefore. That's what the translation refers to. But DEI is just so that they don't take over, and they do have to have 10% of black people, and it will be the best. It's usually the best.
Hey, Clout, let me interject for you real quick, bro, on the Jasmine Crockett part. The thing that I know the majority of you guys don't know who she is, but if you look at the committee she serves on as a representative of the House, she's on the committee for agriculture, and then her secondary is on the Oversight and Accountability Committee. If you look at why she was placed, if you just look at the Oversight and Accountability Committee and look at how she got there, it's overly apparent that they didn't reject her coming because they knew she wasn't going to do shit. She wasn't going to move the needle, and she was who she was. They literally picked her because they get a black person who is fucking useless as far as what they're trying to get done, being that, as far as that she's on the left and the right is in control of that. So her being a DEI is how she got there. Like, they picked her because she's the least dangerous black person there, and they needed a black female, so they got her. They didn't go get I think it's one in Atlanta. I think it's another one in like South Carolina. They didn't go pick them, but they went and picked her because they know, like, okay, cool, I'll get this loud ass woman in here. She's gonna do this shit or whatever. But she's not doing anything. And if you look at her, she hasn't passed any laws. She doesn't have any bills that have been pushed through the House. Like, she hasn't co-authored or co-sponsored anything that's been successful. So, of course, they're going to let her come in here, hit their quota, and then continue doing white business.
Excuse me. I'm literally over here vibrating at the ignorance that I just heard. And not from you, Willie.
I thought this was on left.
Thank you for finishing.
No. Hold on. Don't get this nigga demonetized talking about vibrators and shit.
Y'all weird. No. Right. No, I'm just I was literally about to have a stroke from hearing all of the ignorance that I just heard. DEI has nothing to do with black people. It is not a piece of black legislation that
conversation was about DEI and affirmative action.
I understand why you are talking while I am talking. So DEI has nothing to do with trying to put black people in positions that white people will otherwise have. DEI is literally inclusion for everyone. The handicapped, I think we can't call them that anymore. But however, just all marginalized groups of people. It has nothing to do with black people. Now, affirmative action was a piece of legislation that was supposed to be for black people, but it ended up being for white women and essentially for white men. Ultimately, not essentially, but ultimately for white men. So affirmative action didn't even do us any good. But DEI replaced affirmative action. DEI had nothing to do with us, although we were included in the group of marginalized people. So yes, we were included, but it was not about us. And it didn't work like that. DEI was literally to make places and spaces inclusive of all individuals and not just cishet white men who were not physically disabled. That's already. So
I think that's what they were saying, but we're talking about black people because we're black. So that's why we said black.
I understand that, but I don't want us to get that misconstrued. The spreading of misinformation and just talking about black people when we're talking about DEI is extremely harmful. And that is the reason why they wanted to get rid of DEI, because they wanted to get rid of affirmative action. And if we can stop honing in on the fact that it was for black people, it might have stood a chance. Maybe.
Well, thank you for that. I don't think that we said it was for. I just want to say this real quick, and I'm gonna mute and get out of here. I don't think that we said it was for black people. We said it was for this black woman, and we went on that. But to call us ignorant, that was kind of rude, or ignorance. Saying we're talking.
I wasn't talking about you, Ali. I
I'm just saying. I had a comment on it, so I'm going to include myself. And if we're going to start to have any, intellectual conversations where we're educating one another, then we should have grace and empathy if we are making mistakes and, when we're speaking. So if you want us to, be more knowledgeable, teach us in a more, empathetic way. That's all I got to say.
But what other groups of people
but to respond, because
target because
I didn't want to respond, or can I respond real quick?
Can we take turns?
I wanted to say what Ali was saying, which is that, no one said that DEI was about black people, but when you talk about DEI being to equalize spaces, which is what you just said, when you're talking about spaces that are predominantly white, the only way you can equalize that space is by providing incentives for other groups of people to enter those spaces. And the second largest group of population in America is black people. So naturally, when you're talking about equalizing predominantly white spaces, you're talking about including black people just by proxy. So I don't get what was so ignorant about that. That should be common sense.
One of the things about DEI that it prioritizes identity over qualification. Or it prioritizes saying identity over merit, and that's a problem.
Right.
But what other group of people boycotted the Target for DEI?
Okay.
Right. But DEI wasn't about black people.
It is because
I hear your argument, right? But it's like
because okay.
No, I was about to say I hear your argument, but y'all treat DEI like it's yours, like. You treat DEI like it's like black women treat DEI like it's for black women. I didn't hear Indians. I didn't see the Chinese. I didn't see nobody boycotting Target and doing all these things all over the country and screaming and hooting and hollering. But y'all.
Who is y'all? Because I don't speak like that. You didn't hear me just speak like that. I just said that it is for marginalized groups of people. I don't care who boycotted Target. I'm not talking about that. It is. I don't care. It is the narrative. It is the propaganda that was being sold about DEI that made everyone believe that they were taking black people's stuff out of Target, that they were not focusing on black brands. That is not what it was. That's not what DEI is at all whatsoever. But it did affect black businesses. It could have. But
okay, that's why we spoke up about it.
But that wasn't the point. And that wasn't my point. You brought that up. I never brought this up. So you made that talking point. But black women owning DEI, nobody said that, but black women do speak up for marginalized groups of people. And you could too, if you would just open your mouth and do it. But black women are just the ones that are speaking up for a lot of people. But because y'all paint this narrative that DEI, like every time we talk about it, it's just targeted toward black people. And the only thing I was doing was spreading DEI out because it is not ours. Yes, I get what you all were talking about, but the example that was given to explain DEI did not sound like it was for everyone except black people. That's what I was saying.